This is episode 86 of the After Gambling Podcast. And in this episode, I'm going to encourage you to do absolutely nothing. Hey there, and welcome to the After Gambling Podcast. My name is Jamie. I am a former problem gambler. Now I do this little podcast to help other people that may be struggling with a gambling addiction, help their family and friends understand a gambling addiction, or just really anybody that's curious about what gambling addiction might be, share my story and the stories of other people, as well as all the things I've learned along the way to just help people. And so today I'm going to answer what is probably one of the most frequently asked questions. If you look at Reddit, it's a hugely popular question, frequently asked question. It's something I get a lot. Anytime I do coaching sessions, I get this question quite often. And the question is, what should I replace my gambling with? And my answer today is going to be nothing. Now, obviously, we have to go through and we have to replace the stories about what attracts us to gambling and replace those with the real story, right? Tell the full story. But when it comes to finding new activities, I think there's obviously healthy things that we've talked about. Exercise, reading books, personal development. All those things are really good and they're better than gambling. But sometimes we just have to do nothing. In fact, part of the reason we were drawn to gambling is because it helped us escape things. And if we stay in this cycle where we're just constantly running from one thing to the next to try to fill some kind of void, we're just always going to come up a little bit short. We're not going to feel fulfilled. We're not going to have that peace and that serenity that we really want. And this is one that, I do this podcast to remind myself about life lessons. And this is one I absolutely need to hear personally right now, which is just put down my phone, put down a lot of things, and just relax. Sit there, listen to yourself. And even just try to meditate or just go on a walk. Let your mind run. But also give yourself space from all this outside stuff. I really think we get to the point, I think this is just everybody right now. It's not just people that used to have a gambling problem or any type of addiction. But all of us humans, we're just so bombarded from the time we wake up to the time we go to bed with stuff, with messaging, with thoughts, all these different things. And we have enough of them internally, but then we have so many coming in externally. Every time we're on a social media platform, we're seeing the views and thoughts of everybody we've ever come across in our lives and decided to follow. And that can just become overwhelming. And all of this stuff, I just think we get to the point where it's not sustainable and it's not healthy. And we try to find solutions or fixes or covers. But ultimately, one of the most important things that we can do is to do nothing. To just wake up and spend an hour sitting there. Pour a cup of coffee, grab a tea, grab a glass of water, whatever you're into, and just sit there. Stare at the wall and see what happens. This is something that, like I said, I used to do. I used to do it pretty well and pretty regularly, and I was in a great frame of mind. I was relaxed. I was light on my feet. Nothing felt too heavy. The best analogy is kind of the mind like water. Things would come in and upset me and bother me or surprise me or catch me off guard. But I was able to quickly return to that state that I was before those things happened. And I had a much more level feeling. And all it took was sitting there, doing nothing. Now, I did some meditative practices and thoughts to help and definitely look into some of those. But you can literally just sit there and do nothing. And I think this is so healthy. I really, and this is going to be a short episode because I want you to use the rest of the 10 or 20 minutes, whatever you would normally listen to this show. I want you to spend that amount of time doing nothing, even if it's just 10 minutes. Sit there and do nothing for the next 10 minutes and just relax, breathe, just feel your breath going in and out, and then try to do this a little bit more often. I think if we all just kind of pull away and unplug from all of the stuff in our lives, the social media, And not unplug for our lives. I didn't really say that properly. Unplug from the external things in our lives. All the things that happen outside of our doors, outside of our home. Try to really limit those down. Start with ourselves and then with our small group, our family and friends. And try to block out a lot of the rest of the stuff for a few weeks or months. I think we'll all end up being so much more calm and relaxed and in a better place to take on life and to do the things that we want to do. I think ultimately, this is one of those Jim things, right? Like we talked about in the last one, the alter ego Jim wants to know every little detail about everything that's going on and different sports stuff and news stuff and just as a news junkie. And he doesn't do me any good. Jamie needs to get back to just kind of focusing on me. And if I do anything, do writing, do podcasting, do stuff where it's me doing the work, me talking and sharing my thoughts, rather than trying to hear somebody else's thoughts and constantly fill a void or try to get some new information that I didn't have already. So hopefully this hits you at a right time. Make that a challenge. It's October 8th when I release this right now, but you can do this anytime. Take a month, take a week, take a day, whatever it is. Find your smallest amount. Do it a day at a time. But really try to take all those times where you already filled them with your phone, with surfing websites, with listening to podcasts or videos, whatever it is. And just try to replace some of that time or a lot of that time with nothing and see what happens. You got nothing to lose. Now remember, this is for informational purposes only. I am not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a financial planner. I'm not a physical trainer. I'm none of these things. I'm just a guy that had a gambling problem and now examines my life and shares the things that seem to work. So if you are struggling, please reach out and get professional help. And finally, music for the show is Something Elated by Broke for Free and is licensed under the Creative Commons license. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode, but only after you don't do anything for a while. See y'all.